All right, so I'm going to walk you through how to install R and RStudio locally on your computer. I already have them installed on my computer, but luckily for you, something broke, and so I need to do a reinstall. So hopefully this is going to look pretty much like what you will experience. So the first thing you need to do is to download and install R. So this is going to take you to the comprehensive R archive network, and then you need to pick out your operating system. So I'm using a Mac, so I'm going to click the download R for Mac OS X. And then I'm probably going to be able to use the latest release because this is the binary for Mac OS 10.13, which is High Sierra. So I could go look about this Mac. I'm using 10.14, so I'm okay there. If I had an older version of Mac, I could go look at one of these binaries for legacy OS 10 systems, and there's other stuff down here. But this is the one that's going to work for me, so I click on this link. And it's going to say save file. I'm going to save that into my downloads folder. So it usually does take a second to download. All right, once it has downloaded, then I need to find it in my downloads folder. And when I click on it, it will take me through the steps of an installer. I'm just gonna say continue, agree. I'm gonna install it on my hard drive, install, and then it's gonna ask me for my password so that it can put it in. All right, so it says the installation is successful. I'm going to close that. Then it's going to ask me if I want to move that installer to the trash. Sure, I'll do it. So now I have R, the programming language, installed on my computer. That's step one. Step two is to download and install the RStudio desktop, which is going to make it easier to program in R. And this is free and open source, but it's sometimes a little bit hard to find exactly what you're looking for. So there's two versions of RStudio. We want the desktop version. We definitely want the open source edition. We're not like a big company that needs a commercial license. We just need the local open source edition. So I'm going to click download RStudio desktop. And then again, it takes me back here and shows me that there's like a commercial license and a server. I don't need any of that. I just need RStudio Desktop open source license free. So I'm going to click download. And now it brings me down here. It says step one, install R. We already did that. Step two, download RStudio Desktop. And then it's going to tell me which version of RStudio is recommended for my system. This says, again, it requires Mac OS 10.13, which I have. If it guessed wrong about my system, I could also go down here and find the one for Windows or for one of these Linux distributions. If you have an older computer, you could go look for an older version of RStudio to see what kind of version you might need for an older computer. So if you find yourself in a situation where, like, if you have Mac, you don't have Mac 10.13 plus, if you have Windows, you don't have, whatever this is, I can help you get the older version. But we're just going to do the recommended version from this big button. And again, I'm going to save this file, and then I'm going to wait for it to download. All right. And again, I am going to go click on that in my downloads folder, and it's going to open up this installer. And then it just wants me to drag the application to the applications folder. This is probably a little bit different from Macs and Windows, but it'll be similar, I would guess. Mine is asking me if I want to replace my old version of RStudio. Yes, I do. You probably don't have an old version of RStudio, so it'll just copy it over and it won't ask you that question. All right, and then I can close out of this. And then if I go into my applications folder, I can scroll around and I can look for RStudio. There's also an icon for R. That's just like the sort of basic way to use R. I don't recommend that. So you really want RStudio. And I usually have that dragged into my docs so that I have access to it. You could put it on your desktop, anywhere that you have computer programs that you use a lot. And then I can just double click on it like it was any other software package. It might say that it was downloaded from the internet and ask me about that. Yeah, are you sure you want to open it? Yes, I trust rstudio.com. So I'm going to open it. All right, so then you probably will get something that looks more or less like this. And then the last step that you need to do is to install some R packages. And R packages are just extra functions that will help you do things for this class. And you can install them one by one, or the easiest thing to do is just come here, copy this whole piece of code that I've written here. So I'm going to Control C, then I'm going to go over to RStudio and Control V, and then I'm just going to hit Enter. And this might take a little while as well because it's a bunch of stuff. This red code scrolling by, that actually means that it's working. So it's downloading things and it's just letting me know that it's finished with it. It's possible it'll ask me some questions. Sometimes it says, do you want to install from source the things that need compilation, or because I've already installed R and RStudio once before, I thought it might ask me a question about if I wanted to update already installed packages. But I guess because I just did a new fresh installation, it's all good. So it looks like it finished out. The downloaded binary packages are here. That's all good. So now I have installed R, RStudio, and my R packages.